For many people, flying on an airplane is an inglorious experience. For most, it means squeezing into seats that feel like they were made to fit children, with the seat of the person sitting in front of you so close to your lap that you feel they should have at least bought you dinner first. Especially in 2024, most flights do not even provide you with complimentary meals or alcoholic beverages anymore, especially if it's a domestic or short haul flight. However, air travel wasn't always like this. At one point in time, flying on an airplane was a luxurious experience, and in this video we'll describe what it was like flying in the golden age of air travel and the rise and fall of its headline airline, PanAm. Stick to the end to find out if the golden age of air travel truly ended though. Pan Am. During its peak in the 1960s and 70s, Pan American Airlines was the largest international airline in the United States, and it led the industry with innovation and luxury. After humble beginnings starting as an airmail service between Florida and Key West, Pan Am became the first airline to fly a scheduled international flight from the United States. Pan Am is responsible for many of the things we see as standard in the modern commercial aviation business, from pilots wearing sea captains' uniforms since they originally flew seaplanes to air control, flying around the world, flight planning, and weather forecasting. By the time 1958 rolled around, Pan Am offered regular flights to every continent excluding Antarctica, giving them a leg up on its competitors as they were seen as a safe and experienced airline. But what was it like to fly with Pan Am during their apex in the late 50s to 70s? Luxury in the air. Remember the child-sized seats and the bag of peanuts that you experienced on your last flight? Well, flying Pan Am in the Golden Age was the complete opposite. On Pan Am flights, steak, champagne, and caviar were in-flight staples, with lavish cabins with comfortable seats and enough legroom that you could fully recline your seat back into a twin-size sleeper bed without bothering people in the next row. You could take as many bags and luggage as you wanted on these flights as well. The staff on Pan Am flights were multilingual and college educated, and the flights themselves were almost never short staffed. The stewardesses of Pan Am were known for their beauty and slim model like features, and also had to be single without any children and no older than 32 years of age. Back then, being a stewardess was seen as a much more glamorous job, as you would be around some of the richest and most important people in the world, as they were the only ones who could afford to fly at that time. These passengers often wore their best suits, dresses, and jewelry, as flying was a luxury experience. Pan Am flew the most modern planes at the time, flying their Boeing 707 and 747 pressurized jets, which gave passengers and the crew a smooth flight over turbulent weather. Given how magnificent this flying experience was, and how different it is today for most passengers, what changed? Downfall. When the 1970s arrived, Pan Am introduced its economy class to make traveling the world more affordable to the average person. This was truly trailblazing, as in 1960, a Pan Am flight from New York to London would cost you $300 or $2,600 in today's money. To put that in perspective, the average monthly family income in 1960 was around $610. So if a family of four wanted to take a vacation to London, the flight alone would have cost 2 months' salary. With the introduction of this new economy class, the number of Pan Am's passengers skyrocketed. They projected this would continue, so they invested roughly $500 million to buy more Boeing 747s. However, the OPEC oil embargo between 1973 and 1974 caused the cost of oil to rise by nearly 400%. This hit Pan Am especially hard because the 747s consumed a lot of oil and they were known for flying long haul flights, which naturally consumed a lot of oil as well. Coupled with an economic crisis which led to a decrease in travel, Pan Am lost roughly $364 million from 1969 to 1976 and had about $1 billion in debt. With the airline industry deregulation in 1978, Pan Am bought National Airlines in 1980 for $437 million to have a footing in U.S. domestic flights, not just international. However, due to a difference in culture and aircrafts, this further added to their debt, as in 1980 they lost nearly $19 million, even factoring in selling their main New York headquarters building for $400 million. To offset their losses, Pan Am continued to self-liquidate its assets. The Chernobyl disaster in 1986 also made the airline take a big hit, as at this point in time, they were pretty much only flying from New York to Europe, but with the nuclear accident, many Americans were hesitant to travel to Europe during that year, which severely cut into their revenue. Pan Am's bad luck continued with the Lockerbie bombing in 1988, as the public saw them negligent for letting a bomb be brought aboard one of their aircraft, even though they carried out the industry standard security measures. The bombing cost Pan Am $350 million and caused the airline to declare bankruptcy in 1991. Ultimately, what ended Pan Am's reign of dominance was bad management and bad luck, and what ended the golden age of aviation was the deregulation of the industry, allowing for less luxurious but a more economic way of traveling for everyone, which increased airline companies' profits and revenue. Modern comparisons. Some argue that the true golden age of flying didn't end and that we are in a golden age of air travel right now. Flights are now safer than they've ever been, with quieter engines and modern luxuries like televisions and new movies. First class and luxury airlines like Emirates, Singapore, and Qatar Airways have features such as fully enclosed seating for ultimate privacy, free chauffeur service to and from the airport, exclusive spa and skincare products, access to lounges where you can take showers, get massages, and eat fine dining quality foods while in the air. All this while the prices are only slightly higher than what they were during the golden age when you account for inflation, so luxury is still available 35,000 feet in the air if you can afford it. Thank you.